In a text message to his former girlfriend Whitney Rich on her birthday, David Eason shared pictures of Jenelle Evans and him in their filthy bedroom, complete with clothes and trash scattered all over the floor. Confirmed texts that David's cell phone sent to Whitney on May 5, 2022, also depict the former Teen Mom 2 star brutally hitting his wife Jenelle. That afternoon, when it came to deciding who would pick up their 16-year-old daughter Marisa, Jenelle's husband started talking to his ex. Nevertheless, the conversation swiftly took a turn toward what his ex Whitney had deemed inappropriate. The Teen Mom star asks David, "Are we going on me to get Kaiser?" In a screen snap of a conversation that David shared with his wife after becoming irate with Jenelle. "Marisa doesn't get picked up until 5:30 today," David responds. Once he sent his ex-wife a screen grab of his conversation with Jenelle, he said to her, "Now this, I can never win. I have 2 loads of washing, which aggravates her." He wrote, "She has her clothes all over the room," to Whitney before sending her a picture of the bedroom he and Jenelle share in their North Carolina house. In the picture, clothes are heaped on top of each other and practically cover the entire floor in Jenelle and David's bedroom. Along with junk strewn over their dresser, there is trash all over the place. "This is literally all of hers, ****. All of this apparel is not mine, but I'm a complete mess when it comes to cleaning. I apologize, but I simply need someone to talk to. JD is the only buddy I have, and when he gets drunk, he runs his mouth, as if tidying up after myself is more sinister than lying." LMAO, David went on to say. The topic of who is going to pick up their daughter is then brought up again by Whitney, who did so in order to justify his first outreach. In an exclusive interview with the U.S. Sun, Whitney criticized the conversation as unprofessional, and her husband Shane Rich disclosed that he had been seated by her the whole day when the texting occurred. Whitney commented, "A bedroom is a couple's private space. That's their bedroom, their intimate place. It was crazy that he would send me photos of it." Shane remarked, "I was seated just beside her. Can you believe this? She was texting me, and I told her to keep replying so I could see where David was taking this all." David informed his ex he dreams about her all the time in other texts from same day that were made public earlier this week. During their conversations later that night, David told Whitney, "You were flawless. Simply put, everything you've experienced is so much below what you deserve. That's why it brings me such sadness. I give it a lot of thought. And I can't stop dreaming about you. I'm not sure how I got here, rather than where I wanted to be. I'm not sure how we got here as opposed to where I wanted US to be. I'm just so upset right now," David continued. "Furthermore, I long to go back in time." According to Whitney 35, Marisa had a phone since she was 8 years old, but aside from this conversation, the two had hardly communicated at all. "So all my communication was through her other than maybe a handful of times." Not bringing up the fact that he was still married was incredibly unexpected. "My spouse and I were wed. It was inappropriate and very unexpected." David implied in the text that he and Jenelle had been at odds. He once texted Whitney saying, "I let Marisa and you down. Moreover, I ought to have done more to keep you. I didn't even do anything wrong, and now I'm going to lose my family and my baby child again. I don't know why life is so harsh," he said to his former partner. According to what Whitney told the U.S. Sun, they were on the verge of separating, as far as she can remember. He gave the impression that they were about to break up, and they had been arguing at the time, so I'm not sure what the argument was over. "I am aware that it was also at the same time she launched OnlyFans." Regarding Jenelle's content attempt, Whitney said, "I'm not sure whether that had anything to do with it." Whitney feels that David would have made an effort to meet up with her if she had seemed more receptive to his attempts. "I'm sure he would have tried to see me, considering what he was saying. This would be the end of a relationship for most people," she stated. "I think when you are with someone and they were married to someone else, or in a long-term relationship with someone else, of course, that is the last person that you want them to be contacting, especially in that manner." Whitney declared, I would be leaving him if this were my marriage. I would have been really troubled by it and would have become upset. I would be furious. Additionally, Marissa's mother was quite clear that she did not want her ex getting in touch with her in this manner. I left him in July of 2012, so I don't want him dreaming about me. Considering how she's sleeping next to David, and knowing he's been fantasizing about her the entire time, she continued, saying it would enrage her if she was Jenelle. When they're laying in bed together, and he's dreaming about me all the time, that would hurt if I were Jenelle. I'd have to think about that too, she continued. Whitney added that following all of that, David contacted her once more a few days following the text conversation. Then, 3 days after these texts, he sent me a message saying, "I hope you have a happy Mother's Day, as my birthday falls around Mother's Day every year." And I replied, "Yes, thank you." 2012 saw the end of David and Whitney's 6-year marriage. In 2015, he moved on with Jenelle, and 2 years later, they were married. This occurs shortly before the adolescent's third attempt to escape, when David was accused of abusing Jenelle's son Jace. The criminal summons David received was originally made public by the U.S. Sun, and it states that the defendant unlawfully and willingly did, being the parent of Jace V. Evans, who was a child, less than 16 years of age, inflict physical injury on that child. Their right arm and both the left and right sides of their neck bore marks from the physical harm, which was not the result of an accident. Jace is also back living with his grandma Barbara, who reared him, after Child Protective Services took care of him as a result of the alleged incident.